just a little differently than a big class. We'll kind of go with like a focus group. So feel free to unmute, ask questions as we go along. My name is Brittany Carruthers, which I'm still getting used to because I was Brittany Franson until a couple months ago. So if I say Brittany Franson, no, it's Brittany Carruthers. They're interchangeable. You can email me at either one. Today we're going to go over Cole Realty Resource and tactics with Cole Realty Resource. So Cole Realty Resource is a tool that we got earlier in the year. It's fantastic because I used to have to tell agents, hey, go meet with a title rep, pull a farm list for yourself, and then come back and we'll talk about some ways to market to that farm list. But with Cole Realty Resource, we can pull that list now for you, and it's a really great benefit. I think I heard it costs about $100 or $120 a year if you want to go out and purchase it for yourself or something similar too. So this is a really great tool for you to utilize. It comes with your ASP fees. I don't think we talk about it as enough. And if you're somebody who is brand new to real estate, or maybe you have a farm, but you haven't got a new farm list in a while, maybe you've got a list of your past clients and contacts and you just don't have all of their contact information, Cole Realty Resource is going to be an excellent tool for you. So don't pay attention to the microphones today. If you guys want to ask a question in the chat versus speaking up, either way is great, but feel free to put your hand up and I'll answer any questions as we go along. I am, of course, recording this class, so if you want to, so for some reason you got to pop off early, I will send a recap with the recording of today's class to you, and then all of the helpful scripts and all that stuff that we're going to dive into here. So without further ado, today we're going to be going over what Cole Realty Resource is. We're going to go over tips and tricks to create your farm. We're going to go over how to reach out, so by calling, emailing, mailing, and social media, and then how you can go into predict your goals. And hopefully I remember where and how to get to that on CB Desk, but if I don't, I'll put those instructions for you in our recap. So Cole Realty Resource is a digital tool that helps real estate agents target their prospects and increase your success. It's got, they pull information from everywhere, from title, from their online, I guess you could say behaviors, anytime they have their information. It all puts that into a nice, neat list for you. Also includes like the do not calls and things like that. So when we get into the demo portion, I'll show you all of that. What Cole Realty Resource helps you do is stop wasting time. So if you're popping in there, you can make sure you're only reaching out to those in your farm who are in their homes and have been in their homes 7 years plus or 5 years plus. So it really helps you target who you want to reach out to. You're not waiting on those referrals to come in. You've got something you can actively prospect to. You've got phone numbers for a lot of them. You've got emails for a lot of them. And then we're going to talk about how you can kind of use them for your social media tactics and how to kind of what I call cyber stalk as well. So what you get is you get call and email, you get phone numbers and emails, and you get addresses, of course. You can get just the head of households. Of course, you can create custom audiences too. So there's some fun stuff where you can pop in and you can say, I just want to talk to people who are interested in, say, baseball. So maybe you're going to give away a couple baseball tickets or basketball tickets, whatever it may be. You can get information for apartment owners, or excuse me, condo owners, apartment renters, and we're going to talk about that and look at that when we get into the demo. You can already, like we talked about just a little bit ago, you can upload your contact list. So if you want to maybe capture some more of their contact information, maybe don't have emails, maybe you don't have their phone number, you can pop in there and upload your list and it will search their database for those particular individuals. You can do a deep dive into your neighborhood or a specific neighborhood that you've been looking at to farm. Or like I said, if you've already got a farm and you want an updated list, you can pull that. And then you have 250 plus data attributes that you can pull from. So like I said, with the baseball, you could check out those that are interested in golf, or you can check out those that are interested in swimming. lots of different things that you can kind of drop down criteria-wise when you're pulling your farms. So just some resources here for you. And of course, the recap is going to include a lot more when we talk about the different ways to reach out. But I think what I mainly want to focus on today and kind of focus you all on is when you pull these farm lists and you're working these farms in multiple different channels, it's really important to take each individual and try and make a personalized connection with each one of them. So you don't want to be taking these lists and popping it into our Clients for Lives and just crossing your fingers that somebody picks up the phone and calls you. You don't want to be putting them on a newsletter with information that might not be relevant to them and then, you know, setting it and forgetting it. These are actual lists that you want to, you know, make 15 calls a day, 10 emails a day, maybe drop by those high potential sellers and drop by a gift or a pre-listing presentation, whatever it may be, but you need to make individual touches for each of these. Once you've made a little bit of a connection, then putting them on maybe a reoccurring email campaign or something along those lines is perfectly fine. But the first few touches should always be a real effort on your part to connect with these individuals. As we know, and you guys probably have heard this before, but anytime you get a lead, and especially cold leads, it's going to take you anywhere from 12 to 25 touches to convert that lead to a client. And what that means in each touch is every time you've made a connection with them. So it's a phone call, it's an email, it's a letter, it's a postcard, but 25 of those usually is what it takes to convert those leads. So with telemarketing, and you're going to get lots of phone numbers on there. We've got some scripts available for you. All of this is available through Desk, but I am going to be sending you some scripts that were put together actually by Ryan Gorman and some of the top real estate managers throughout Coldwell Banker. So we'll send those off to you after this, but some really great ideas when you're picking up the phone to call people on your list is going to be sharing neighborhood news. So do you have a Christmas lighting ceremony, or do you have some sort of event that's coming up? Is there a fundraiser that you can invite people to? Is there something that you can actually give to them that's valuable about their neighborhood? So that's an excellent way to open the door when you're making calls. I think it's also a good thing, and I didn't put it into this slide, but always a really good idea to have a really great voicemail message script written for yourself, because 9 times out of 10 you're going to get somebody's voicemail if they don't recognize your phone number, and you want to make an impression on that voicemail, very personalized voicemail, so that they don't either block your phone number or ignore it, maybe even save it for the next time that you call. Master your metrics. So you want to know that neighborhood, that particular farm really, really well. You want to know what's on the market, what just closed, what may be coming up, and check into all of that. Are the numbers going up? Are they staying pretty stagnant? Are you seeing prices go down? Is it a seller's market? Is it a buyer's market if you're targeting renters? So really have a great idea of those metrics, and you can pull those in Prospect Square in the market reports. You can set the same boundaries as you set for your farms and have really good down to the nitty-gritty specifics for your farm on what the market looks like. Any questions with the scripts here and what we're going over? I guess I should kind of slow down. A week off of vacation and I'm just like, let's get through everything. So any questions on anything that I've covered so far? We're going to get into the live demo in just a moment, but any questions, anything out there on the scripts and kind of some ideas on how to target your sellers? No? Okay. If there is, feel free to raise your hand or put it into the chat. All right, so targeting buyers. You can definitely do an MLS search if you've got renters and you've had a conversation with them. Even if not, you can quickly have the MLS open in front of you and say somebody on the line, talk about where they may be looking, and if you can go take a look at that with them or show them that home is an excellent way to get your foot in the door. Have you contacted your bank? So maybe you've got your guaranteed rate rep ready at the wind to provide them with, if they can qualify for a loan, what they need to do, maybe some steps to that are right in front of you that you can get after, and then maybe a questionnaire. So we've got a really great buyer questionnaire that's available to you in, I believe it's in your buyer presentation in Moxie. And you can pull that, and it's got, how important is it to have a pool? How important is it to have a single story or double story? What are you looking for? Do you need a garage? Do you need RV access? So there's a lot of different things that you can think about with a buyer questionnaire, but we do have one in your buyer presentation that's in Moxie that you can take a look at, but that's a good thing to have in front of you as well if you're making those calls to your potential buyers or your renters. Okay. So telemarketing, those are just some ideas. Again, I'm going to send over a bunch of scripts that are going to kind of walk you through some different tactics you can take there. But now we're going to hop into email marketing, and there's a ton you can do in email marketing. And again, think personalization, think making a connection, especially the first time around. So In Touch Marketing Center has, if you use the collection called Seller Marketing, this is particular for our sellers, there's 191 different email templates available for you to personalize, to email out and send out. I highly suggest, putting in your contacts or your lead from your farm, put their information into InTouch, and then work that lead via your email through InTouch so you can keep a good log of all of the touches that you've made with that individual. But you have a ton to work with the InTouch Marketing Center. Excuse me. For sellers, we also have, of course, our market reports, which we talked about a little bit. You can go into Prospect Square, add that particular person to it, make a a market report specific to their neighborhood, add in, include anything that really kind of sells your point, and then follow up with a phone call talking about what it was that you sent over to them, or following up with another email that says, hey, I've just sent you a real estate report. Love to chat with you if you're interested in selling or have any questions about what you saw. This is an excellent way to be very personalized, again, with what you're emailing them. And then we don't usually think about this because the pre-listing and 12-minute listing presentations are relatively new to what we have available for templates in Moxie. But the pre-listing presentation is fantastic. It's got just your basic, here's what happens when you want to sell. You can add in comps if you want to, but the pre-listing presentation is pretty short. I believe that one's only about 14 pages long, so you can personalize that as you see fit and email it out directly through Moxie. You can add in a note to them. Here's what this is I'm sending you. This is what we do. 12-minute listing presentation talks about our marketing. It's very structured around our listing concierge packages that we have. We do have like a gold, silver, and platinum and bronze now. Listing presentation or 12-minute listing presentation in there talks about the mailers we send out, the TV spot on the weekends, all the goodies you get with listing with a Coldwell Banker agent, and then utilizing the listing concierge program. We don't usually use the listing concierge name either when we're marketing to our consumers, but it's an excellent piece that's short, it's sweet. You can add in your customization just by personalizing the email that's sent to them, and then you can send off a presentation that can be live and looked at on the web, or they can download the PDF and take a look at it there. For our buyers, again, we have 134 results when we go to our buyer CV marketing. So you want to go, when you go into your marketing center and InTouch, you have a couple of options for the criteria when you're searching keywords and stuff. At the bottom there, it's going to have a collection, and you just want to open that drop down menu and go to buyer marketing. 134 results, 134 different templates that you can personalize, add in anything from videos to pictures to, whatever it is that you'd like it to say when you're sending this out. But again, we want to make a personalized effort. So not immediately putting them into, say, your newsletter or the holiday drip campaigns, make that personalized email. We also can set them up on listing alerts. So once maybe you've given them a call, you've got a good idea, they've kind of given you some answers with the buyer questionnaire, you can pop in and set them up on a listing alert. Make sure you just do it as it hits the MLS so that they receive a email letting them know that that listing has hit the market. What's excellent about this is that as soon as they click on that image or on the link for that particular listing, they're going to be brought right back to your InTouch website and able to search for more listings there versus going to Zillow or Realtor.com or any of the top RE websites. And you're not having to compete with all of the other, paying agents on those websites. So taking them right back to you, keeping them in front of you. And this would be another touch point. So this would be another touch. And you're going to get notifications if anybody is on your website. So you could pick up the phone and say, hey, I noticed you were interested in this listing. Would you like to go take a look at it? Just kind of keeps it full circle and in your control. And then, of course, direct mail. So we've got a couple of options for direct mailing. I've got some topics here for you. So if you're trying to rack your brain and have no idea, or if you're maybe trying to schedule out 2022 and you want a different topic for each month, these are some excellent ideas for you. So we've got the Real Vitalize, Listing Concierge, Your Past Production. We have CBX Buyer Intelligence, Clients for Life, of course, Core Fact Elite Program, Buyer Letters, which are always great to mix it up with, Market Data, Holiday Notes, Offers, Prop 19 information, real estate news, and local updates and events. So these are just some topics to pull from if you're not able to kind of get down 12 months or even 6, some great ideas there. And what's awesome too about having a different topic each month to send out to your clients is you're going to have the opportunity to take a little bit of time to research each one of these different programs that we offer. And that's really going to expand your ability to market, to expand your ability to sit down with somebody and offer up a listing presentation and know the programs in each and every one that we offer. And then the vendors that we have to send out that we kind of are, I guess, preferred vendors through Coldwell Banker. We don't have preferred. You can go anywhere you want to with any of this stuff. Rope your field marketing specialist in if you need something specific to it. But the InTouch Marketing Center, you can actually mail out through there. So if you've already got your sphere and you've got your farm in there, you can mail out through your marketing center. Express Docs is mainly going to be Coldwell Banker-esque topics. So our St. Jude's in there, Real Vitalize in there. But you can upload your contact list and send out through Express Docs. Deluxe Marketing is also available to you through CB Desk. You can just click on that and see what different postcards and letters and cards and stuff that they have available there. They also have door hangers if you're thinking about ordering door hangers. And then Core Fact, of course, who is our vendor that we use for all of our listing concierge pieces. They are local. If you're local with me here today, they are in the Bay Area. But they are got great contacts there, great customer service, and they have a lot of our templates already there with them. They also have door hangers. So if that's something you're looking at and you want to walk your farm, you can order door hangers there as well. Okay, and then some ideas for social media. So with our Boost by HomeSpotter ads, we have you have your Boost by HomeSpotter ad for any listings that you have is going to be automatically included in a listing concierge package. If you don't purchase a listing concierge package, though, you can still order those through, it's Boost by HomeSpotter, but I think it's actually HomeSpotter by Boost as the name of the tile on desk. But you can utilize listings, but you also have personal promotions that you can do. So it's $99 a month. You can upload your sphere list or your farm list and target a specific zip code at the same time. It is marketed out on our social media platforms of Instagram and Facebook, but also on some heavily trafficked websites. You can personalize, as you can see here. I helped a couple agents put together a advertisement for themselves. One here is talking about our CBX buyer intelligence. The other is talking about the marketing she does through Listing Concierge. And then there is the listing ad sample here as well. But you can target your specific farms by uploading a list of either just their phone number or email. That's all you need, first, last, phone number or email. And then you pick a zip code, and for 99 bucks a month, you can market yourself. It doesn't have to be just listings. Listings vary depending on the time, the duration, I guess you can say, that you want to run the ad. The 99 bucks a month there's no minimum contract there. So you can do it for a month and cancel it. You do need to go in and make sure you do cancel it, but there's no long-term commitment. The other one that we've promoted in the past is called AdWorks. It's similar to, you purchase up a share of a zip code, and the minimum commitment there is going to be 3 months. And it varies zip code. The price varies by zip code, excuse me. So this one's a basic 99 bucks. You can go month to month, but AdWorks is also another one if you're thinking about doing a more long-term campaign and want to see if there is a difference in pricing. I know that it gets pretty expensive in like the Pleasanton, Danville areas. So think about it as like, if AdWorks, if you're in a pretty, moderate, if your farm is in a moderately priced area, it may be less expensive for you to run it through AdWorks. If it's in a more high-end neighborhood or area, this 99 bucks a month with no long-term commitment is going to be a better option for you. I'm going to pause for a minute. I know I haven't paused for a minute. I just want to see if you have any questions. It's a small group here today, so I want to encourage you guys, if you do have any questions on anything we've covered so far, to feel free. I see Derek is typing. I'll wait for your question. Okay. No questions so far? Awesome. All right. CBX Buyer Intelligence Map, as we talked about, you can use this to advertise too, but this is an excellent tool for you to kind of talk about when you're talking to sellers as well. It is a tool that no other brokerage that I know of has. And if you haven't checked it out, it's on Desk. It's an app on there. Just click into it. You type in an address and it pulls up the match for where your buyers are most likely coming from. And so I encourage my agents, especially if they have listings, to check this out. So if you've got a listing advertisement running, by default, it's going to run in the same zip code that listing is in. But that may not be where buyers are coming from for that particular listing. So you can see here for 410 Los Gatos 95030, the match for this was Los Gatos. We had a 100% buyer profile match. So the buyer profile match means that the people living within Los Gatos are mostly like people within Los Gatos. But any of these dark ones that you can see here, these indicate the very high match. And you can pop into CBX Buyer Intelligence and find out if, first off, if that's your highest match. It may not be. I know for Hayward, there was a lot that were coming out of San Jose. I know for Livermore, where I'm at, we had a bunch coming out of like the Fremont area. So we've seen kind of, it wasn't as extreme, but we've seen, and San Francisco too, moving out into the East Bay a lot more. So you definitely want to check out and see where you're going to get the best bang for your buck, I guess you could say, with your advertisement, and see where you're going to be marketing to your listings, particularly if you're trying to find buyers. You want to go and run that ad in the zip code with a high buyer profile match and a high likelihood to buy within the next 12 months. It's a fun one to play around with. It's an excellent tool to just kind of have in your back pocket to check out every once in a while. It's a great conversation starter when you're talking to someone, especially people who are just watching what's going on with real estate with the news. We know they don't always portray what the real estate market looks like. And so when you have actual data and you can pop in and say, well, here's where those buyers are coming from, and we're seeing this, migration from here to here, you really have a great idea of what that looks like, and then also just kind of show off if you're with other agents. And then for social media too, we have, you can obviously upload those lists, and then the advertisement is going to be targeted to your farms. But you've got first name, you've got last name, you know where they live. You can pop in and just do an organic search of that particular person and, befriend them. Reach out to them with a little message and say, hey, I'm your local real estate agent. If you need anything, just know I'm here. Pop your phone number in there. And maybe that's a half hour of what you do every morning for your marketing, or every afternoon for your marketing, and for your lead focus. So don't forget to utilize social media, and check out a couple. Maybe they're not on Facebook, but they're on LinkedIn, or maybe they're not on Facebook, but they're on Instagram. That's why it's so important to have a good presence on those platforms. I'm not a huge pusher for my agents to be like influencers or spend a whole heck of a ton of time there, but it is a place where you are and need to have networking and a community, and a presence. So if somebody does try and find you at one of those platforms, they're able to, and you look like a professional. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to pop into the demo, unless there are any questions with what we just kind of reviewed. Okay, all right, so head to desk, pop into Cole Realty Resource, so CV Cole Realty Resource. And as I brought up a little bit, it's HomeSpotter Boost. So if you're trying to search Boost by HomeSpotter, don't pop in Boost, just pop in HomeSpotter and you'll be able to find it. But once you're in Cole Realty Resource, I believe it takes you directly to the Prospect IQ. And here's where we're gonna pull our farms. I did this too early, so let me just X out of here and we'll pop back in. Okie dokie. Okay, so it's taking me to the retriever, but that's fine. So you want to go to Prospect IQ. If you're pulling those farms, you want addresses, you want phone numbers, you want email addresses, you want to go to Prospect IQ. I found that by zip is too general. I think neighborhood works a lot easier. So you just want to toggle over to that. I also have not been putting in house numbers. When you're too specific, it makes it a little more difficult for us to find it. And then you want to just pop in your list, your street name. So if you know the names of the streets in your particular farm, pop one of those in, and don't put the way or anything like that after. Pop in the city and the zip code. And you'll notice that the only thing that's really needed here, required, is going to be the state. So the more you can put in here is better. And then we want to go with confirmed homeowners. So this is for our potential sellers, of course. We want to go with head of household, because unless I put head of household, it's going to give me the spouse or anybody else that owns the home. So we want to go with the confirmed homeowner. Now, if you wanted to do total assets here, if you wanted to do minimum size or square footage, you can do that. You can do length of residence as well. So if you wanted to put in minimum length of residence, we'll say 5 years. You can pop into the financials, but for today's training, I just want to keep it pretty generic or general. Transportation, if you're looking for people that drive Ford F-150s, you can pop in and put that in here. Here's that consumer behavior that we were talking about. So if you want to see if they're interested in baseball or golf or any of that, you can do that here. Also some options, and soon to come is going to be a family, so we'll get some family information there. And then here we want to indicate what type of list we'd like to create. So list of all records is going to give us all of this. It's going to give us telemarketing, emailing, phones, or mailing. If you want to just do a mailing list, pop into this one. If you just want emailing, pop into here. but for today's purposes, we're going to leave it at list of all records. And just hit search there at the bottom. Now, street search is going to give you just that street, so it's just going to give me Princeton Way. Radius search, of course, I can set it to a mile out or 5 miles out and do my circle radius search. But for particular farms, since I know my boundaries, I'm going to hit this map search. Now, at that point, if you're not seeing a map pull up, I've run into this before, go back to your very first step and choose a different street name. Some of the street names, for some reason, won't pull the data. So if it's like, maybe it's the end cul-de-sac or something like that, or maybe you're up in the mountains and you're not able to pull a different street, maybe even down more in the residential, whatever it may be that might not be pulling it. Just go in and put a different street name in there, and you're more than likely going to pull up what you're looking for. You can always kind of move the map around. So if that's not the street you want the next neighborhood over, at least you're pulling this information here. And then all you do, hit this free form plotting at the top, and you can drop as many points to your polygon as you want. But say I want to go within the Jensen tract here, we're going to go up to the Lawrence or the Robert Livermore Community Center. I'm just going to get my area here, and then I'm going to scroll down to view all available prospects. Click that, and then give it a second to generate that list. And I've got 422 records, 5 years plus in their home, head of household, all within that boundary that I pulled. If I want to get some advanced options, so say I want to add in their age. Maybe I want to go with a Prop 19 mailer, and I just want to add in those that are above that 55 marker. I can add in age, and it's going to drop age into my list. You want to use field names as headers, and then hit submit. And now I have the ages here, so I can organize my list once I export it to those in that. I believe it's 55. I might be wrong with that number for the Prop 19, but you can see here that it's giving quite a few of the people's ages on this list, which is fantastic, and a lot of them are within that age range. We've got a lot of people in here that are above that, so that'd be an excellent marketing tactic for this particular neighborhood. To export this, you're just going to go with all records. I want all of them. It's going to highlight all of them for you, and then you want to choose your export format. CBS or CSV format is going to be the one and only for most of you, and then you just hit that download here, and that's going to give you your handy dandy list. Now I want to pull this up, and we're just going to bring up here. So you're going to notice that it's not going to put in, and I have not figured out how to do this, but it's not going to give you the titles for each of these columns. So if you highlight number 1, the whole row, and you just right click on it, you can insert a new row. And then you can just go ahead and put your first name, last name, street address, city, so on and so forth. Also, you'll notice here, we've got our DNC. So these ones with DNC, those we're unfortunately not going to reach out to via phone or email. Just heads up for everybody. That does indicate both are kind of off the list. So pull those DNCs out, and you can still mail to them though. So you can still snail mail, but no calling, no emailing on those ones. But you've got a few here with email addresses. And if that's particularly the route you want to go, then I would increase your boundary size or increase your size. And then you'll get a pretty good list of emails and phone numbers that are able to call. If you're doing more of a mailing, this is a perfect list. And then also it's a great list to have if you're just going to be doing, walking your farm, maybe leaving behind some information. But then you can organize here by their age, and you could just target those that were 55 plus. Really, you can kind of go to town with it. And then if you wanted to include the things like the baseball or things that they're interested in, maybe their assets. That'll all be included if you would have indicated so on the criteria that we chose for this list. Any questions with this? Okay, well, I'm going to head back over because I had several ask about the rentals and things like that. So if you head over to rental, very similar address number. I probably wouldn't put this in there. I'd just go with my street name, zip code, and state, of course. And then you have house renters. So if you want to like list of just the renters in your farm, you can pull that. Apartment renters or condo owners. So if you're trying to target specific condos, this is an excellent way to pull those lists too. Again, what type of records, and then you hit that search and you're going to get either the street search or the radius or the boundary search that we had on our first portion of the demo. So pretty easy there. And then if you are trying to pull information on maybe your past contacts, or if you want to complete some of their information that you didn't get in the initial encounter with those individuals, you can upload your list and perhaps retrieve some of that information through the Cole Realty Resource. I would suggest downloading their template. You just click here and it's going to give you an Excel template to add your contacts to and uploading them. And it's just, searching your computer for that file, uploading it, and then it'll pull in whatever information that it can retrieve for those individuals on your list. It's kind of hit or miss, but it does work. You may be able to find some emails or phone numbers for those that you wanted to reach out to and were not able to. So check that out. Check out the rentals. Check out the Prospect IQ. And then I will send out the recap with today's recording. I'll also have some great scripts in there, some resources for you in addition to what we chatted about today. And then if you have any questions or need any assistance with any of this, please don't hesitate to reach out. But that's it, easy peasy, 40 minutes and we're good and done. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday weekend and have a beautiful new year, and hope to see you all again in the new year. If you have any questions though, I'll hang out for a minute. Thank you. You're welcome, Tiffany. Thank you. Thanks for joining. Paige, any questions on any of the stuff we went over today?
Nope, so far so good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Awesome. Well, have a great one. Have a good week.
Thanks, you too.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.